Okay, let's journey to a place of incredible complexity, a place of profound mystery, and what might just be the last true bastion of privacy we have left. Yeah, we're talking about the final frontier, your mind.
But really, I want you to think about that for a second. In this age of constant tracking and data collection, what's the one place that remains truly, completely yours? Right now, it's your own thoughts. But that might be about to change.
Before we get into all the crazy technology, let's talk about a superpower that every single one of us already has. We do it every single day. We try to read minds. It's just a fundamental part of being human, and it's how we navigate our ridiculously complex social world.
Now, there's a name for this. Psychologists call it theory of mind. You can think of it as the engine that runs all of our social interactions. It's how you know your friend is just joking, or why your boss seems so stressed out, or even what a character in a movie is probably going to do next. We are constantly, and I mean constantly, guessing what's going on inside other people's heads.
And what's so wild is just how naturally we do this. The psychologist Fritz Heider actually called us intuitive psychologists because we're always running these little mental experiments, trying to figure out the why behind people's actions. Was it their personality that made them do that, or was it just the situation they were in? And you know what? We're surprisingly logical about it. Building on Heider's work, another psychologist, Harold Kelly, figured out that we basically ask three key questions. We ask about distinction, consistency, and consensus. It's like this unconscious checklist we run through in a matter of seconds to decide if someone's action really reflects who they are or if it's just about the circumstances.
So, that's our natural superpower. But what happens when that power is, well, exploited? When our innate desire to be seen and understood is used against us? This is where we get into the art of the illusion.
This is something called cold reading. And let's be clear, it's not about psychic powers, it's a masterclass in applied psychology. A really skilled cold reader can make you believe they see right into your soul, but what they're actually doing is just expertly reading you, your body language, and your reactions.
So how do they do it? How does the trick work? Well, let's pull back the curtain on a few of the most effective techniques they have up their sleeve.
All right, first up is a technique called shotgunning. Just imagine a psychic on a stage in front of a huge audience. They're not talking to one person. They just start throwing out tons of really general statements, one after the other. They're basically spraying the crowd with information, just waiting for something, anything to stick.
It'll sound something like this. See how incredibly vague that is? A father figure, chest pain. In a big enough group of people, that is almost guaranteed to resonate with someone. And as soon as they get a hit, a reaction from the crowd, they zoom in on that person and make it seem like the message was for them all along. It's clever.
Next up, we've got Barnum statements. Yep, they're named after that famous showman, P.T. Barnum, the guy who supposedly said, "There's a sucker born every minute." The whole idea here is to make statements that feel super personal and specific to you, but are actually true for the vast majority of people.
Think about this one for a second. Do you have a box like that? Maybe it's a shoe box, maybe it's just a folder on your computer named Misc Photos somewhere. See, most of us do. When you hear that, your brain immediately fills in the personal details, and it makes that totally general statement feel like a deep insight into your life. It's a perfect example of how our brains are wired to find patterns and connections even when they're not really there.
And finally, there's the rainbow ruse. This one is seriously clever because it plays both sides of the fence. It involves making a statement that gives you a personality trait and its complete opposite, all at the same time. It's like a psychological safety net you literally can't miss.
For example, who does this not apply to? It sounds so insightful, doesn't it? But really, it's just describing a basic human emotional range. The person hears this, they immediately confirm it, and they walk away believing the reader has some special understanding of their complex personality. So, for centuries, this whole mind-reading thing has been an illusion, a really clever psychological trick. But here's the thing, we are now standing on the absolute edge of a monumental leap, from the illusion of mind-reading to the reality of it. This right here is the turning point. On one side, you have the old way, the illusion. It's built on inference and psychology. On the other side, you have the new way, direct access, built on hard technology. The method, the basis, the result, everything is different. This is not a magic trick anymore. This is real. So, let's get right to it. Elon Musk's company Neuralink is actively developing implantable brain-computer interfaces. And one of their main goals is to be able to translate a person's thoughts directly into text on a screen. No typing, no speaking required, just pure thought.
And look, this isn't some far-off, niche science experiment. The scale of this ambition is just staggering. Their goal is to be placing these implants in 20,000 people per year by 2031. This tech is designed to go from the lab straight to the mainstream and fast.
And this, right here, brings us to the absolute core of our explainer today. If our minds can be directly accessed, really read like a book, what on earth happens to privacy? We have to talk about how we're going to protect this final frontier.
You know, this quote from Aldous Huxley's novel A Brave New World, written almost 100 years ago, feels so eerily relevant right now. He was warning us about a future where technology and psychology could literally erase individuality. The question is no longer if this kind of technology is possible, the question is how we control it.
So, in response to this brand new reality, a completely new legal concept is starting to emerge: neurorights. This is basically a proposed framework of human rights designed specifically to protect our brains and our minds in this new age of advanced neurotechnology. The Neurorights Foundation has put forward 5 core protections. First, the right to mental privacy, so your thoughts stay yours, period. Second, the right to personal identity, to make sure this tech can't fundamentally change who you are. Third, the right to free will, projecting your decisions from being manipulated from the outside. Fourth, the right to equitable access, to stop a world of cognitive haves and have-nots from forming. And finally, protection from algorithmic bias, making sure the code reading our minds is fair.
At the end of the day, these 5 rights are an attempt to draw a very clear line in the sand. They're a declaration that even as technology races forward, the human mind, our thoughts, our identity, our free will, it all has to be considered sacred and protected territory.
And all of this leaves us with a truly profound question. The potential for this technology to help people is obviously immense. But as we finally learn how to unlock the human mind, the most important decision we're ever going to face is this: who exactly gets to hold the key?